lot going on radio today. Yeah, Super Bowl. A bunch of people talking over each other there. We'll skip today, sounds like. What's up, viewer? Just hanging out in the man cave this evening. I got some boxes to break down. I thought I would do a video while I do it, like I usually do. How's it hanging? Yeah. Got the CB radio on. There's a few people talking. Not too many. It's what they call the Super Bowl channel. My new knife here. Yep. Drinking my Kickstart, Mountain Dew Kickstart, as usual. Never can be too prepared, right? Something to drink while you do it. What's up, cuz? How you doing? Good to see you in there. I didn't expect to see you today. Aren't you usually at work this time of day? Uh-oh, I lost him. Not sure what's up with that. Oh, there you are. What's happening? So I'm in my basement. I got my CD on. Yeah, there's a lot of trash and hash on here this evening. Living the dream. Yeah, me too, buddy. I know about living dreams. You know, they called me a dreamer when I was in school. I guess they didn't realize that I would actually make something out of myself. But you know how that goes. So I'm down here in my basement this evening, breaking down boxes. I'm not sure how well you guys can see. We do a lot of Amazon shopping. So if you look, do that, all those boxes, I got to break all these boxes down, put them all together, and put them in one big box and take them to work tomorrow and throw them away. I do this about once a week or once every couple of weeks from all the trash we buy off of Amazon. I could probably open my reboxing store if I waited long enough. I could sell these boxes and make money. You know, stuff like that. We worked at 4:30 to 1:30. Wow. Man, I couldn't imagine working that shift. Of course, there was a time when I worked 6 p.m. to 4 a.m. Man, that was a long time ago. I worked on a construction site up in Maiden, North Carolina, and I was working on a big communications plant. I guess that's what they would call it, a communication. It's had a bunch of computers and shit in it, and we were putting a new wing in this building. That was one of my first jobs with the Electrical Brotherhood, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, or whatever they call it. I call it a bunch of shit now, but you know. But I was driving like an hour to work every day. I got pretty tiresome pretty quick, you know, working those hours, you know. But I wasn't there long because, well, at that time I was still married. Of course, my history speaks for itself when it comes to that. I had problems concentrating on my job at night when I was there. I guess you can probably only guess why. But that's how it goes, you know. So I decided to come home and do this today. I meant to do it over the weekend, but I had other stuff going on that I wanted to get done. So I didn't get a chance to do this. It rained Saturday. I guess you know that. I got a notification from Amazon. Looks like. Hey Alexa, what's my notification?
Good evening, Jim. One new notification from Amazon Shopping. 2 months ago, you bought LVE Tech Multi-Plug Wall Outlet on Amazon. How many stars would you rate it, from 1 to 5?
4 stars.
Thanks. Your rating will help other customers make better choices.
Isn't that special? Alexa calls me to get me ratings, to get ratings from me. Anyway, so I didn't do anything Saturday. I did do some internet surfing though. Watched some of the riffraff out there at these No Kings rallies or protests or whatever they were. A bunch of morons out in the rain. I guess you gotta really believe in what you're doing to stand out in the rain like a dumbass and protest something that isn't even in existence. That's what they do. I'm not going to get into that. I got better things to do, to discuss. Amazon wants to know. Yeah. You know, I got this thing. It's in my basement. It's one of those Amazon ball things. Alexa. No, I don't want you, Alexa.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Yeah, I know. Shut up. I could sit here all day and have a conversation with this ball on my desk. Maybe one day I'll do some acid or something and do that. I'm just joking. Just joking. Anyway. Yeah, it's a trip, man. I could sit here all day and have a conversation with you know who over there in the corner. Yeah, the Echo. It's a ball. Yeah, that's right. The Echo. I sent my daughter for, let's see, what was it for? Was it her birthday? Yeah, I sent my daughter back in September. My daughter lives in Charlotte, and I sent her one of the balls, but it's a white one that like when you play music and stuff, it lights up and it's like a disco ball. It's like the coolest thing. She says she really has a lot of fun with it. But you have to have a regular one to link up with it, or you can't really do anything with it except turn the light on. You know what I mean? It's more of a nightlight type deal if you don't have the other one, or if you don't have the Amazon deal. But yeah, she says she has a lot of fun with it anyway. Look at these big boxes. Look how big that box is. These things are huge. And I'll bet you what they sent in this box, they didn't need all that room for. I'm willing to bet you that's probably the only thing that came in it. Well, they love their boxes over there at Amazon, that's for sure. Let's see here. What is this? This is a Fit Beast hand grip workout set. Huh. I guess that's one of those squeezy deals things. You know, we used to use those when I was a kid. When I played baseball, I used one of those squeezer things, you know, to build strength in my hands so that I could grip a baseball bat a lot better. But this is what I do sometimes. I just come down here and chill out, break down boxes and that kind of thing. This is a pretty cool place. I bought this house because of this basement, believe it or not. The basement's finished completely. And I really just kind of plan on using this as a place to hang out. So we've got two halves. The half that I'm in right now, I'm kind of using as an office. I've got all my CB equipment and stuff in here. Let's see if I can show you. See, I got my CB equipment there. All right. And that's basically what I use this area for, was to use it for my CBs. You like a good basement? Yeah. Well, it's all finished. Well, there's only part of it that's not finished. That's my storage room, which is right on the other side of the wall right here. That's where my water heater and my furnace is. And then I got a bunch of stuff I store in there. And then I've got a safe in there, just for personal shit, you know. But I don't really come down here a whole lot. I actually was going to make it into a bedroom when I first moved here. But the problem is, if you see the stairs, that's my stairs right here. They go up. I've got a queen size bed, and I couldn't get my bed box spring down the stairs because it's too narrow and it's not tall enough. Where this ledge right here is, see that ledge? It actually is a slant, but I usually bump my head. If I don't duck, I'll bump my head like right here. But and I'm 6 feet tall, so but anyway, I couldn't get the queen size bed down, the box spring down here. I could get the mattress down. All I had to do is fold it, and I didn't want to get a two-piece, like two twins to put on a frame, you know that. But the basement, actually, you need to get one of those ones that come compacted so you can get down your stairs and then unfold it once you. Yeah. Well, I thought about that, but see, here's another problem is that down here, this house was built in 1949, and the windows that I had in here were just the old, wood frame around a piece of glass. There was really no kind of airtight to it or anything, and but it's below ground, so like I have two windows that have those window wells, and what happens is when it rains really hard, those window wells fill up with water, and it was dumping them right down into the basement. So I guess I'm kind of glad, that I didn't use the basement as a bedroom, because I would have gotten flooded out. I do have a couch down here and a TV, and I've got a bunch of sports collectibles and shit like that down here, and my stereo and my records, and I got a couple of bookshelves full of books that I'll never read. They're books that my mom had when she was still alive. But like I said, I don't come down here a whole lot. I did bring my my Oculus down, my Metaverse Oculus down here. Just basically because I've got more room down here. See, we're not down here a lot, so there's not a lot of shit down here, like there is upstairs. So, I got the Batman game. The Oculus came, the Meta Horizon mask or whatever. The Oculus came with Batman. So there's a Batman game on there that there's part of it you have to learn how to fight. So I need room to be able to stand up and swing and stuff and move around. And I've got room to do that down here, whereas upstairs I don't have that room. And another thing too is, like, when I'm on there, I do talk to other people when I'm on like VR chat or Meta Horizon Worlds, and I talk to other people. So if Dee's upstairs watching TV and I'm up there with her, Mine show the same when windows fill up. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's flooded about 4 to 5 times since I've been here. I've got I've got a pine room where the windows are, and it's got pine, all the way around. And I don't know if there's any mold behind the pine or not, but I do have a dehumidifier that I run down here. But what I usually do, like if it floods, and it doesn't flood like, standing water, it's usually just the carpet's really wet. So I use towels to draw the moisture out, and then I put that dehumidifier right by wherever the water is. But I had new windows put in around this same time last year. I had 3 of the windows replaced downstairs, and they're the triple pane window, energy efficient, and all that good shit. And I've had just a little bit of water come in, but I think that's probably, now that I'm thinking about it, it might be that I have a crack or something, in the block, where the block is, stacked. Unless it's concrete, like solid concrete. I'm not really sure, because I've never seen, like, this wall over here behind me, this wall here, this is sheetrock, but I'm underground right now. I got a window, that's a window right there, and my driveway is right here along this wall up here. So these windows never leak though. It's just those on the other side that have the well in them. And then, but anyway, like I said, it's only, I've gotten a little bit of water, like one time when it rained, but it rained really heavy, and it rained for a really long time. And it didn't take long, but it took like a couple of days for it to completely dry. But I've got that, I've got like a indoor-outdoor carpet in there. It's not really even an indoor-outdoor carpet. It's more like almost like something you would put on a deck. You know what I mean? It's made of fibers, but it's real thin. You know what I mean? So it's easy to draw water out of it. Like I said, I just lay down some towels and let the towels soak it up, and then I use the dehumidifier and get the rest of the moisture out. And it doesn't smell or anything, which is good. I don't put any air fresheners or anything down here. I do burn incense sometimes when I'm down here, but that's very rare. It's only when it smells kind of musty, because like my what do they call it, my main drain for the the sinks and the bathtub and the toilet are in my storage room right here, where it comes down. It's like a 4-inch. It used to be wrought iron steel, or what was that stuff called? Cast iron. It used to be cast iron, but when I moved in here, I had all the cast iron taken out and all PVC put in. So from the floor, where it meets the floor and joins to the cast iron, there's cast iron that goes down underground and then out to the street, because the road is right out there. And so that's all cast iron still, but everything inside the house is PVC. And I had a guy come in and do that for me about 6 months after I moved in. They did it. This house is built in '49, like I said. So when I moved in here, I had an inspection done, and the cast iron started, like, had little divots in it, like it was what they call weeping, where like the rust was coming through from the inside. So he suggested that I trade it out and put all PVC in. So that's what I did. And so far, as far as that goes, I haven't had any problems. I don't have any drainage problems or anything. But also, my washer and dryer are over there behind a wall. So but I've got a wall between there and where I've got a hole in the floor in the hall. There's like a little hallway there. I've got a little hole about this big, and it's got tubes running down. One's coming from my furnace and air conditioner, condenser, I guess that is, so that it can drain, during the winter or during the summer, when I run the air conditioner, it can drain. And then I have my washer on the other side of the wall. I've got a tube that's about an inch and a quarter, or maybe an inch and a half, and it goes underneath the wall down into that hole to dump all my wastewater, for my washing machine. So, but I got a piece of plastic mat, lays over top of it so that when I walk through there, I don't trip on the hoses. I could have spent the money and, done it right, but, I wasn't really thinking that far ahead, when I bought this house. And to be honest with you, I really didn't even know how long I'd be in this house, because I knew that I wanted to get a bigger one, which I'm kind of looking to get a bigger house. I'm not in any big hurry, but hopefully sometime in the next couple of years, because I need to get the hell out of St. Louis County. St. Louis County sucks. It's just the taxes and the politics, and our neighborhood is, I got a pretty decent neighborhood. I got old people on both sides of me, and then most of the people that, live right around me are pretty cool. So I'm not really worried about my immediate area, but the riffraff is starting to come in from other places, like around us. So I'm looking to get the hell out of St. Louis County. It's a little bit too diverse for me. And it's not that I like people, I really do, but some people are just idiots. So anyway, guess I'll just open this up. Why that like that? Anyway, it started to get cool out. It was really chilly this morning. It was like 47 this morning, and but I had to go to the car dealership today and drop off my car. And some warranty issues I need to get taken care of. So I left work and then went back. So it's a pretty nice pocket knife I got here. I bought this. There was a special thing that came up on Facebook that had these knives in it. This is a Kershaw knife. It's a 50 year anniversary edition Kershaw. It's a spring-loaded knife. It came in this box, and you see it's got 50 on it. Oh, wait a minute. It's pretty nice. It's good. It's nice and heavy, and it's got knives fast, and it's got Kershaw insignia right there, and it's one of those stiletto knives. I've been wanting one of these for a while. I bought one about a couple of weeks before I bought this one from a company. The Mac Tools man comes around for our job, and he comes up to me, throws it on my desk, and he says, "Here, try this." So I did, and when I flipped it, it lightly came out of my hand. It's a lot stronger than this one. The spring's a lot better. And, he says, "Here, try this." And I was like, "Ooh, I want one." So he had a bunch of different ones I could choose from. I got like the I got like the second one up from the bottom of the line. It's like, I think it was like $129 for the, you know, scraping the bottom of the barrel, and the next one up was like $159. But it's built a lot better than this one. This one here, if there's anything in front of it, let me see here. So this one, see, it doesn't go out all the way. If there's something in front of it, see that? And then you have to pull to get it back, you know what I mean? The other one, if I do that with the other one, it'll go straight through the cardboard. So that would make a good secret weapon if I was trying to sneak up on someone. I wouldn't, but it would make a nice, you know, if I did. You know what I mean? It'd be an automatic shank. I'm sure you know what those are like. Or you know what those are. Some people don't. Some people don't have knowledge. Knowledge is power, you know. Man, I didn't know I had this many boxes down here. God almighty, damn. I'm like to get Dee to slow down on the shopping. We do this thing called subscribe and save. Subscribe and save is where, like, you have a bunch of household items and stuff, you know, food items, and then, you know, shampoo and toothpaste and stuff like that. So every month we have shit come in, and you know, it's just household stuff, and it's yeah, I don't know what to do next. I need to shove all this paper stuffing in this box. But subscribe and save comes once a month, and then we, instead of going to the store and buying beef because it's so freaking expensive, we use something called Butcher Box. And Butcher Box is really cool because you know, it's all grass-fed beef and stuff, and the hot dogs are all natural. They don't have all that bullshit in them, you know. I know you being a chef, cuz you know what I'm talking about, but Butcher Box is really cool company to buy shit from that you need. As far as your, you know, hot dogs and hamburgers, stuff like that, whole sausage, you get all kinds of shit from them, and it's all good and good for you, you know. And we've got these are really good. If you ever get a chance, if you have a Costco, go to Costco and get you some of these. They're man, these things are good, and they're organic. That's what I like about them. But they're addictive as hell. So if you got a sweet tooth in the house, I know you got a daughter, you get a sweet tooth in the house, and you get some of these, you won't have them long, I guarantee you that. That girl will eat these things up. I'm not sure where my daughter is today. Speaking of daughters, she may be working. She got a job at a pizza place, and she's been doing pretty good here lately, from what I understand. So she hasn't been catching my live feeds too much. I think she was on last time I was on for about, I don't know, 30 minutes, I guess. I was on, what, Monday? No, I wasn't on Monday. That was yesterday. Last time I was on was Friday. I had planned on going to a street festival in St. Charles called Legends and Lanterns. It's a Halloween thing they do every year for like on the weekends for a month. We were going to go last weekend, but like I said, it rained, so we actually didn't go. So I think we're going to go this week instead. And they got, like, you know, fictional characters that, you know, that they dress up and they stand like on street corners, and you know, they tell stories, and they got a guy that dresses up like Edgar Allan Poe. And he tells stories. Then they've got like Vlad the Impaler is there. Then they've got some women there that sing. They're painted like they're stone or something. Not they're stoned with a D, just stone, like statues, and they sing. And then you got like aliens, and my favorite character is Lizzie Borden. She's there, with a knife, or I'm sorry, with her axe. And I walked up one time and I said, "So what was it, 42 wax?" And she says, "No, actually it was 43, but I didn't do it." So that was pretty cool. So I like to see her every year. It's always the same girls and guys that dress up in these costumes. But like they have, Hook, the pirate, and then they have swashbucklers out there, and they have the pumpkin, the Great Pumpkin guys out there, and then they have what was that lady that was she poisoned people with soup and stuff? I can't remember her name, but she's funny as hell. She'll come up, like if I'm sitting down, she'll come up and sit down beside you and invite you to her house to have soup. And then she tells a story about how her husband, when she was married, he loved her soup, but he loved it so much that it was so good that he died or something like that. And she's funny, but it's just something enjoyable to do, and it's good for kids too. They get a kick out of all that stuff as well. All right, let's see here. Oh. So, cuz, did you ever decide whether or not you were in the market for a motorcycle, or are you still just going to ride your scooter? I don't know why I was thinking that you lived like in a duplex or something over there, Jason, in Springfield. You live in a duplex or a house? I was thinking it was like a duplex or something. Man, I'm almost done. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 more boxes here. I'm gonna leave it on for a little while there. Thinking about trying. I bought this album from a company over in Tennessee. The guy has an auction. Well, it's not really an auction house. It's where people have collectibles and shit. And he goes and buys people's record collections, and then he sells them on the open market. And they have auctions and shit. And then they have albums that are pre-priced. And then he's really made a good business out of it. But he's on every day on Facebook at 5 from Collect Co. And he's got a lot of like really rare albums that people collect. And basically all it is like when people get like these people with these big record collections, when they get too old to sustain life, like taking care of themselves or whatever, and they're downsizing. A lot of times one of the first things they'll do is they'll sell off records, because records don't take a lot of space. But if you're talking you've got a room that's got 25,000 records in it, he'll come in and buy your record collection from you, and then he'll like triple or quadruple the amount of money that he spent for the collection just by doing auctions. So I've seen albums and like box sets go for as high as $1,500, $2,000. And there's some pretty serious collectors that that watch him. I watch him some. I've bought quite a few from him. But I usually don't like to spend more than, $30 or $40 on a record. It just doesn't, it doesn't appeal to me to spend, $500 or $600 on a record. I'm going to play it one time and then put it away. You know what I mean? But I always try, to do it. And my limit when he's doing his auctions is like $35 or something like that. Because he charges $8 for shipping no matter how many records you get. And then, of course, the price of your album plus the tax that you have to pay. I guess the state of Tennessee is what, like 6 or 8 cents on the dollar or something like that. And so he does a Tennessee tax on his. And then, like, I bought an album last week. They were having Psychedelic Sunday. So I bought this really cool psychedelic record by who's the name of the name of the Together Incorporated or something like that. It's a good record. I only paid $19 for the record itself, but by the time I got finished paying, the taxes and the postage on it, it was like $37 or $38, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I try not to buy from him too much, because it's kind of a pain in the ass. But plus he really likes those albums. A lot of the albums that he sells, sometimes he talks about wanting to keep them, and from time to time he does. He'll price something that, like just for instance, say there's I'm not sure how many of you out there are Guns N' Roses fan, but he has a Guns N' Roses When the Appetite for Destruction comes in. There were 2 different covers for that record. There was one that had like a naked woman on it and had a bunch of like monsters walking around her or something. And then there was the one that had the cross, with the guys' faces at each point on the cross or whatever, on Appetite for Destruction. And I've seen that album, the one with the one wasn't released in the U.S. because of the album cover, and so that one's pretty expensive when he gets it. I mean, I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. It always goes for, upwards of the hundreds of dollars, $700-800 just for a record. And I'm not paying that much for a freaking record. I'm not paying any more than like $35, maybe $40, if it's a good one. You know what I mean? If it's something I really have been looking for, or if it's something I'm really, really interested in. I've got some pretty good records. I've got some stuff that's pretty rare, that is expensive. Of course, Ace Frehley died recently. I've got one of his records on the way that I bought off of Amazon. Discogs. I paid like $23 or something like that total cost, but it's what they call an OG, and it's an original copy, like first press, and it's coming from I want to say Utah or Oregon, maybe. Anyway. Excuse me. Working class. Sorry about that. I guess I need to drink more of this. Wow. So I got one person watching. Is that still you, Jason? You still watching? Yeah, that says you're still watching. Okay, I got it. I figured out how to use that top fans thing, where if I got one person up here, I got crowns. So like when you type in something, I get a crown with the number 1 beside it. Now there's 2 people watching right now. If that other person was to come in and type something, their crown would be purple and be number 2, or a different color maybe. I don't know, but that's pretty cool how that works, huh? This is what my monsters or my Kickstarts come in these. I buy them by the case. It's cheaper that way, believe it or not. But if I buy them from like if I buy them from like Family Dollar or Dollar General, they cost about $1.75 a can. If you buy them like this, they're only about $1.25 a can. So I save about 50 cents a can, something like that. But I don't order them. D does, on that whole deal. Anyway. I've been on 41 minutes. That's pretty unusual for me. I'm usually not on this long. Of course, I have done, a couple of videos where I've been on for like an hour or so, something like that. What we got going on here? Let's turn it up to 19, see what's going on up there. I like to listen to the truckers, The highway, from my house, the highway is about 2.5 miles. And I can hear the truckers. If they got good radios, I can hear the truckers. This is a base station radio. And on my setup, usually if I can hear you, I can talk to you. I've got what they call Fire in the Wire, which is an amplifier. And actually, I've got a couple of them. One's a mobile unit amplifier, but the other one is a base station amplifier. I don't use the base station amplifier because it's also a power supply, so I use it to power up my radios, and I also use it to power up my mobile linear. But I've also got a preamp on there, so like people really far away, I can pull their signal in when I use it. I've been doing CBs for a long time, a lot of years, but I didn't have one until I moved here. And actually, I've only been back into radios for probably 4 or 5 years. I just got a wild hair at my ass one day and wanted to go out and buy a CB radio to put in the car, and I did. And then I thought, I'd like to get a CB in the house too. And I've talked to people all over the world on this one. The easiest place for me to talk to anybody, way off, is like down in the tropics. Like Trinidad, West Indies, and then Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, places like that. I talk to people there. A lot of times I just listen too, There's a lot of these big stations that, in some of the countries they don't have like FCC regulations like we do here. So, you might get somebody that, has a linear or an amplifier the size of a freaking refrigerator. And you can actually, they're like sitting in the room with you, even though they're not, and they sound like they're sitting in the room with you. My stack is falling over. So I got another box over here that I've already broke down a bunch and put in it, but I think I'm going to use this big Amazon box this time to put all the smaller boxes in. But I'm not going to do that while I'm on live feed. Would you fall asleep on me, Jason? I asked you a question like 10 minutes ago. You haven't answered me yet. Everybody's coming to check out, see what I'm doing. It doesn't look like people are staying long. I've had a pretty good revolving door here last, 15 minutes. I go like, 3 people, 2 people, then 1 person, and like 5 come in, and then 2 or 3 more come in, and a bunch of people leave. I ought to make you a moderator, Jason. See if I can figure out how to make you a moderator. Right, let's see if I hit your thing there. Add as moderator. Managing moderator can manage blocked words and Let's see, standard. I'll make you a standard moderator. How's that? There we go. Jason now is a moderator. How about that? Now your name should turn blue when you're on. I don't know. It should. Hold on. I got 2 boxes over there I need to go get. I bet it really trips people out sometimes to be flipping through and see this British Jack flag here, and then I hear a guy talking English, speaking English. I'm quite a connoisseur of flags. I like flags, mostly Southern heritage flags, because I'm from the South originally. Actually, I'm from DC, but I moved to Gainesville, Virginia. I was in a foster home there up until 1977, and then I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. My mom was a college student, and she was kind of too young to take care of a child, so I was in a foster home in Virginia up until, we'll see, 1977. And then I stayed in Charlotte and surrounding areas up until 2010. I moved here to St. Louis area. But, so I like my Southern heritage and my Southern flags. I fly the Confederate flag. I don't fly it anymore outside because people get offended. Not that I really give a shit, but I don't want somebody burning down my house because I fly a Confederate flag. And believe me or not, there are people out there that are stupid enough to do some dumb shit like that. So, in order for me to keep the peace with everybody, I don't make it tempting, But I've got other flags, I've got American flags, and I've got, of course, my British Jack over there. And I've got some really cool wall hangings. Iron Maiden, of course, I'm an Iron Maiden fan. Stuff like that. So, anyway, I guess I'm going to take this box here. It's going to take 2 of us to get this big box out of the basement. Anyway, I got another box that I did a couple weeks ago. I've got just a bunch of small boxes in it. But and we really, these accumulate pretty quick down here. The only thing I'm really worried about is like if there was ever a fire in this house, these boxes are nothing but freaking fire fuel. So I try not to leave them down here for too long. This is one of those freaking honeydew melon boxes there from, I think we got it from Costco or something. These boxes are tough, man. And they'll test you, that's for sure. They'll make you work for it. Yeah, sure do. Man. Little box kicking my ass. When we go to Costco and shop, a lot of times we use boxes from stuff they sell there. This is one of those honeydew melon boxes. Those big thick ones. It's real sturdy boxes. They're good for carrying shit in. You know, if you got stuff that's heavy, they're good for carrying that kind of stuff in. I really should get my razor maybe and cut the spines of these things. I don't want to fuck up and cut myself. Do you know that 150, this is some like useless information. It's funny as hell. So, I listened to a guy named Dangerous Darren on XM Radio, and he does this segment. It's called Things You Didn't Know Yesterday, or Things You Found Out Today, or something like that. Did you know that in the United States of America, 150 people a year injure themselves opening yogurt? Was it yogurt or was it pudding? Pudding cups. You know, the pop open pudding cups. 150 people a year, people end up going to the hospital because they don't know how to open. What's up, Abid Ali? Free Palestine? No. I'm glad that something good's happening over there finally. Yeah, Free Palestine. That's right. I hear you. Yeah. Looks like my cousin's gone. So I got somebody. Where are you from? Are you from Palestine? Are you from that area? What is it? What do they say? Well, what? You're from Pakistan. Okay. Hey, you know, the Pakistanians, you guys make good knives over there. I've got a couple of knives that are from Pakistan. Well, welcome to my channel. It's good to have people come in and at least say hello. A lot of people don't. Buy your ice cream? What? Add a Q&A sticker. I don't want to. Oh, no problem, man. I've been doing this for quite a while. I've got some people that do come in, you know, here and there, that are pretty regular. But I do this usually on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But you know, today's Tuesday. I didn't do a video yesterday, so I decided today was a good day. I do like it when people come in, you know, new faces, so to speak, and stuff like that. You know, it's pretty interesting, you know, to know that I'm getting out. You know, no, wait a minute, are you still in Pakistan right now, or are you in the U.S., but you're from Pakistan? That's probably a better question for me to ask you. But anyway, I give free shout outs too, so I've already done that. And you know, a lot of people, you know, they want you to subscribe to their channel and like their video and all that good stuff. I don't. You're still in Pakistan. Sindh province. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. I hope you're not, you know, like in any dangerous areas or anything. I know that it's been kind of rough over there on you guys for quite a while. But I'm hoping, you know, with this, this peace process that is going on, that you guys, you know, finally get some peace and security over there. That's for sure. I couldn't imagine living, you know, like having bombs dropping around me. I couldn't imagine that. I'm just glad that, you know, here that we have the Second Amendment, which allows me to carry a firearm everywhere I go. You know, for close encounters, you know what I mean? Not that I think I'll ever use it or anything, but it's nice to have that security. It's a peaceful lane. There is clashes in KPK, another part of Pakistan. Okay. All right. So what time is it there? It's like 4 a.m. or something? Isn't it pretty late? Or pretty, I don't know, pretty early? Because it's, let's see. It's 6:18 p.m. here. So are you in Wednesday yet? So stay here. Are you in Wednesday? It's 4 a.m. Yeah, that's what I thought. I know that over in London and areas like that, they're 6 hours ahead of us. So it's like, if it's 6:18 here, that means it's 3:18 in the morning. I knew that you were either an hour ahead or an hour behind them. So that's a pretty good guess. I'm not really good with geography though, so that's why I had to get you to explain to me where you were at. So I'm not, um, I usually don't do these videos at home. I've done videos from home before. I'm usually, like I said, I do these Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Generally when I'm driving home from work, and it's a little earlier. It would be like, let's see, it would be around 4:30 p.m. my time, which would be about 2 o'clock your time. And I'm usually on for about a half hour. But like I said, I didn't do a video yesterday like I usually do, so I decided, I had some stuff here, and I'm downstairs in my house, and in my basement. I have a full finished basement, as you can see, and I'm breaking down boxes. We do a lot of like Amazon shopping and stuff. It's really kind of a way for us to save money, and so we do that. You study a lot of English literature, love to read Wordsworth, Johann Keats, William Shakespeare. Okay, I've heard of Shakespeare. I think I've heard of Keats before. I'm not a big reader, but I am a big fan of music. If that helps any. I'm a metalhead through and through, but I grew up like in the late 70s and all through the 80s and 90s, and of course up to modern day. So I have a pretty wide range of things that I listen to. Music is your therapy. Absolutely. Yeah. Without music, man, I'd be lost. Well, not lost, but it would make the days a lot longer if I didn't have, it going on in the background. You know what I mean? So it really helps. And music is a universal language as far as I'm concerned. It really brings people together, or it can. It has the ability to. No matter what the odds are, or what the differences are in cultures or communities, music has a way of bringing people, from many different walks of life together, and that's what's really cool about it. Hold on, I got to go over here and get one more box. Like I said, I'm breaking down boxes, so give me. You feel nostalgia and soliloquy when I listen to music. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Hold on just 1 minute. All right. So who's your favorite musician or band over there? Are you a metalhead, or are you kind of versatile like I am, or what? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. When people ask me what my favorite band is or favorite kind of music, that's kind of what I do. I go, well, and it really just kind of depends on like the genre that I'm listening to. I'm really a metalhead. I love metal music. I do play guitar. Well, I don't play it. I play at it. But um, I did have a band when I was a teenager. It was just all original. Some of us would get together and just play music. I do have guitars still, even though I don't play them very much. Life is really busy. Let's play. Oh, do you play as well? I don't. I don't know what you mean by okay, let's play. Are you a musician as well? Do you play music? I guess I could. Do you have anything on your YouTube channel that I could go look at? That would really be cool, right? Yeah, but Cindy musical instruments. Okay. I've got a couple of 6-string guitars, electric guitars, and I've got like an amplifier that I used to play. It's a half stack. It's a Crate. I'm not sure if you ever heard of Crate amps, but it's a chorus. Chorus. I've got overdrive and all that stuff, and I've got an effects pedal that I make noises with. But I don't really play a whole lot. I picked up guitar when I was a teenager. It was a way for me to kind of pass the time. I was in my mom was one of these people that, that thought I was addicted to drugs because, I was just doing what teenagers do. And she put me in a rehab facility. So the only thing that I could do to occupy myself there and kind of keep my sanity was to pick up guitar. Most of the stuff that I play, I just play by ear. And I can find the notes on a guitar. It might take me a little bit, but I'm not great. But there's a couple of videos of me playing. If you go through my channel and you look at my short videos, I think there's like 2 or 3 short videos of me playing in there somewhere. But I explain to people, or I explain, that I'm really rusty because I don't play a whole lot. I've had guitars for years now, but I just don't know. Life happens, man, and I don't really play a lot. I guess I should, but it's like every once in a while, hey brother, I'm learning how to play myself, man. Yeah, I hear you, rock on. YouTube is a really good place to learn music. If you don't know, there's a lot of like tutorials and stuff, and it's really interesting that like before, when I was a kid, unless you hung out with people that played music or had guitars or whatever, it was really hard to pick up on things. But now you've got YouTube, and YouTube is like wonderful for that kind of thing, because you can, if you want to learn how to play something, if you have a song in mind that you want to learn, a tutorial they play. Now, Abid, I gotta be honest with you, man. When you see those videos, just remember that I don't play a whole lot. I do play some, but I'm rough around the edges, so to speak, because I just don't, like I said, I just don't play that much. So I'm trying to pack these boxes up. Let's see if I boxes here. See, I'm putting them into this big box. This is what I'm doing. So I got a bunch of boxes over here I broke down, and I'm putting them into a big box. I take these boxes to work and throw them in the dumpster at work, because they take a lot of space in my basement here. So, oh man, that's really cool. I'm glad that I ran into some people that actually like music. I think it's like I said, music's a universal language, and we all, no matter what our backgrounds are or what our differences are in life, we can always, relate to each other some way, shape, or form, with music. I mean, it's just, I'm really glad that there is such a thing. And like I said, I listen to music all day at work, and I think without, it would be really monotonous, So I got like MP3s, and I'll take, like a bunch of music and put it on an MP3 player. Alan Collins and Gary Rossington of Lynyrd Skynyrd are self-taught guitar solo. Lynyrd Skynyrd, Ronnie Van Zant. Oh, absolutely. Hey, and speaking of, hey, Abid, I'm not going to ignore you here, but no, that's a British Jack over there. I do maintenance with a friend of mine. Okay, well, that's cool. Um, I'm not sure where you're from, Rock On, but I went on vacation last year down in St. Augustine, Florida. And I don't know, I'm sure you're a fan, you know, you're telling me all these names, but there is actually a place called The Jug, you know, in the song Give Me Three Steps, where he was cutting the rug at a place called The Jug with a girl named Linda Lou. Well, I actually went to The Jug. Oh, okay, Abid. Hey, Abid, yeah, catch up with me some other time. It was really nice to meet you, man. I'm really glad you stopped in here to take a chance on my live feed. Stop in anytime. We're glad to have you back. Oh, South Carolina. Okay. I lived in Pageland, South Carolina for a little while, and then I lived in Lancaster, South Carolina. I'm not sure what part you're in, but anyway, getting back to my story. So I went to see a friend of mine in St. Augustine, and she's like, "Man, I got to take you to this really cool place." And I was like, "Okay, cool. All right, take it easy, Abid." And so we go to Jacksonville, right outside of Jacksonville, and we roll up on this place, and it's called The Jug, right? And that is the place that the Van Zants and all the guys in the band used to hang out at when they were younger. Um, and it's like the coolest little. It's just a hole in the wall place, but it's really cool. So we were talking, we were talking to the bartender, and I made a joke. I said, "Hey, where's Linda Lou?" And oh, you're in West Columbia. Okay, yeah, I've been through there before. Um, I let's see. That's where it was. Interstate 20 runs through Columbia, isn't it? I think I've been on Interstate 20 to go to was that Harleyville and Charleston, down in that area. I used to go down, was it Interstate 85, and jump on that from, because I lived in Gastonia at one point in North Carolina. I'm actually from Charlotte area. I grew up in a little town called Mint Hill, North Carolina. But I used to go to Myrtle Beach all the time, and Florence, South Carolina, Darlington. I've been to Darlington, Florence. I used to go to the racetrack, or the drag strip, I'm sorry, down in Florence a lot. When I was younger, I was down there like, 3 days a week. Stone roadie Greg Reed, he was on the roadie for Leonard Skinner on the plane crash. No, I can't say I have, but speaking of the plane crash, now I went to New Orleans, Louisiana, what was it, 2 years ago? And we were coming back through, what was that, Mississippi? And I went to the actual crash site. They've got a memorial set up down there, that the guy that owned the farm that Leonard Skinner plane went down on, it's way out. It's like 10 miles off the highway, but they've got this really cool memorial set up there, and it's really a solemn place. If you go there, you can really feel that something bad happened there. But it's really kind of enlightening too, because it's got these they're like marble columns, and they've got all the band members, and you've seen it on video. Okay, well, I've actually been to that place, man. That is, if you ever get a chance to visit there, you need to put that on your bucket list, because that place is fabulous, and it's really awesome. That the people that own the place, that own the farm, went to the lengths that they did to memorialize those guys. I never really have been a huge fan of Leonard Skinner. I did listen to him as a teenager, and I still listen to him today. But the two places, the Jug and then that memorial that where the plane went down, it's just it's amazing. They had to get together yesterday, and I want to visit. It's a beautiful memorial. Okay. Yeah, you'll really enjoy it. like I said, it's like 10 miles off of the main highway. Was that interstate? Was it 95 or maybe it's Interstate 85? I don't remember which interstate it was that we were on, but it's about 10 miles off the road. And there were actually people there. You know, when we pulled up, there was actually some people that had already been there and were leaving. And then we were able to, spend a little time out there and, read all about it and everything and stuff like that. So, but I got lots of pictures of that place. But it'll, something like that will make you, make you into a fan if you're not already. But I think that's pretty cool. You're from South Carolina. That's every chance I get. Like I said, I'm from the Charlotte area, North Carolina, and every time I like to go to beach. Myrtle Beach has gotten kind of bad, so like we Holly's Island, and then we go up to North Myrtle Beach. And then sometimes we travel up to Wilmington. I've got some people in Wilmington I go see. And then we go through like Mint Hill and Charlotte area. I got kids in Charlotte. So, anytime I get out that way, I like to, travel a little bit. I got a brother that lives in Pageland, which it's almost on the North and South Carolina border. But yeah, I know that area down there pretty well. Well, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate that, Rock-On. That's pretty cool that you took a minute to come in and say hello. That's really awesome. I don't know if you knew what I was doing here. I once a week I usually come down here in my basement. I don't generally do videos when I'm down here, but I do videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday around. Well, see, you're an hour ahead of me, so I do my videos generally like 3:30 or 4:30 in the afternoon, which will be 4:30 or 5:30 your time in South Carolina. And I usually just I'm driving home from work, and I do these videos just to kind of keep me busy on the way home. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I try to stay away from politics and religion, but I do like talking about music. And I do like talking about things that are fun, adventures I had when I was a kid. I talk about general life. I talk about some of the stuff that we do at work. I work for a company that upfits commercial vehicles. We retrofit them for commercial companies depending on what the customers need. You lived in Pisgah Forest. You love Myrtle Beach. Also, man, went to Ocean Lakes Campground. Yeah, and I'll subscribe to your channel. Hey, I appreciate that. Absolutely. And if you have a channel, I'll subscribe back as well. Yeah, come check me out, man. I've actually, if you spend some time on my channel and my videos, I go to a lot of concerts, and there's a lot of concert footage on there. So I've got like, man, I got a wide range of stuff. I've got I saw Pure Prairie League. I've seen the Fab Four. They're a band that does the Beatles tribute. I think I've got some Queensryche on there. I've got Godsmack. I've got there's a tour that they do. It's called the Happy Together Tour, and it's got like the Cowsills and the Association and bands like that. If you spend some time looking on my videos, I saw John Anderson from Yes. Man, that was a fabulous concert. And then there's some other tribute band stuff on there. We have a lot of tribute bands that play here in my area. I'm in near St. Louis, Missouri. So a lot of the concerts that happen in this area are usually in the St. Charles area, and a lot of times, like, I'll get free tickets to go to some of the, especially like the tribute bands, and I get free tickets from time to time for even some of the big name, concerts. It's just something that this family arena does. They they send out these invites for a contest to win front row, and I've never gotten front row, but usually I win, a pair of tickets. So I like to, savor the moment and enjoy, and, I do things so that I can remember. So I shoot videos. And you'll notice when you look at the videos, there's the acoustics in that place are awesome. They're great for even cell phones, But yeah, bands, you've been music lovers since the 70s. Man, seriously love music, and I help out a lot, homeless and cats, feed them, etc. Cool, absolutely cool. Yeah, we were that guy Abid that I was talking to. He's from Pakistan, really nice guy, and we were talking about music, and he seemed to be a big music lover as well. Um, I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan, and I've seen them quite a few times, especially in the past, I don't know, 10 years. I've probably seen them a dozen times or more. And then I went to London in 2012 to see them play with Trivium at a place called the O2 Arena. And seeing a band like Iron Maiden on their home turf is way different than it is here in the U.S. The people over there, it's like the Grateful Dead here. They're like a brotherhood, and the people, no matter what walk of life you're from, you've got all kinds of people that are these concerts. Well, I've been to a lot of concerts, in here in the U.S., and I just don't see a lot of that. Running to the Hills is your favorite Iron Maiden song. Well, that's cool. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. If I had my favorite album is Power Slave. I love the Power Slave album. But I would have to say that my favorite song by Iron Maiden is one called El Dorado. That's on one of their later albums. I believe that one was on Final Frontier. But up until that point, I really liked The Prisoner. The Prisoner was a great song, and was one that I could kind of identify with, as a kid, and some of the things that I went through. But I've got a lot of their stuff, a lot of their albums. I've actually had VIP passes a couple of times at their shows, but I've never actually met any of the band members, even though I thought with the VIP that I would be able to. I saw them back in, 1980, 86 or 87 was my first time seeing them. I saw them with, let's see, who was it opened up for? Was it Twisted Sister, I believe, opened up for them at the Charlotte Coliseum on the World Slavery Tour. So that was the first time I actually saw Iron Maiden live. And then I saw them again a couple years later on the Seventh Son of the Seventh Son Tour. The same place in Charlotte. And then, of course, they went on hiatus for, 7 years or so. And, but then Blaze Blaley came in. Now, I never got to see him with Blaze Blaley. I would have loved to. Actually, I would have even loved to see them with Paul Di'Anno. I think that, with the original lineup with, what was the guy's name? Clive Burr was his name, the original drummer, and Paul Di'Anno. Elvis Presley, big fan. Okay, cool. I like Elvis Presley. Actually, I lived in Gainesville, Virginia when I was a kid. Before I moved to Charlotte, I didn't move to Charlotte until 1977, and I was in a foster home. So the people that I lived with, they were huge Elvis fans. I lived with an older lady, older couple. She was probably in her early 60s then. Of course, she's long gone now, but they listened to a lot of Elvis and Linda Ronstadt. We used to watch, Hee Haw, the TV show, and stuff like that. So, yeah, Elvis is cool. Your roommate was adopted? Okay, yeah. My mom was a hippie back in the 70s, well, 60s and 70s, and I think what happened, it was kind of culture shock when I went to live with her, and I ended up in foster homes. from the age of, I would say, probably like 10 years old until I was about 13. I was in sixth grade when I finally did go home. My mom was just not very responsible, I guess you could say. And she wasn't, she was a party animal too. So, yeah, Hee Haw show. I love Hee Haw as well. Um, but I lived up in, well, see, I lived in South Carolina in Fort Mill, in one foster home near Lake Wylie. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Lake Wylie. That was a pretty cool area to live in. And then I moved to Banner Elk, North Carolina, which is up in the mountains. I was in a foster home up there, a children's home up there, called Grandfather Home for Children, and I was there for a couple of years. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what's up with me. But I don't know how I got into that. I guess it was talking about Elvis kind of moved us in that direction. But yeah, so I'm a huge metal fan. And a lot of the music, I've got so much music that it's really, and a lot of it's newer stuff. Like I get on YouTube. You were born in Columbia. Went to Lake Murray a lot. I'm not really sure. I've never heard of Lake Murray. Is that near Columbia? Or I guess it would be if you're from Columbia. Green. But anyway, let's see. Where was I? Oh, um, like at work, I put my Irmo, and I've heard of Irmo, I think. Anyway, so during the day at work, I use a computer at work during the day. I work in an auto shop that we're a company that upfits commercial vehicles. We take, stripped down trucks and cars and vans, and we upfit them for commercial use. So we do like GPS systems and CB radios and bulkheads and vans and shelving and lighting, and we do like a whole range of stuff. And I'm a quality control inspector, so I'm the one that is the last one to touch them. So I take a lot of pictures, I do a lot of paperwork, and I do a lot of computer work. So during the day, I put it on YouTube, man. I just pick something, and then I let YouTube kind of randomly pick stuff for me. So a lot of the music that I'm listening to these days, I've got more into like the psychedelic stuff here lately. Like there's one band I really like. It's called Liquify. I like them a whole lot. It's kind of Pink Floyd-ish. And then like Next Level, you know what I mean? And so I've gotten into a lot of psychedelic rock here lately, instrumentals, things like that. But most of the stuff that I've found basically has been by accident. A lot of it's really good. And there's even some older stuff, from bands like, what was that band? There was a band playing, you ever hear of a band called, I think it's Captain Beyond? Man, they are really good. And I mean, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix and Cream, yep, I like those. I collect vinyl, so I've got a lot of those. I don't have any Cream, but I think I've got a couple of Jimi Hendrix albums, and I know for a fact I've got a Janis Joplin album. But see, my mom passed away. Like I was saying, my mom was a hippie back in the 60s and 70s. So, she had a pretty extensive album collection. So, when she passed away, I inherited all these records. So I've got like the Beatles and Joni Mitchell and Joan Baez and Styx and Queen and Jerry Rafferty and Leon Russell, and I mean just a lot of the old stuff. Gary Wright, I believe it is. Neil Diamond, Neil Young. She liked Earl Klug. I don't, he's kind of a progressive jazz, I guess, but a lot of that kind of stuff. So I inherited her album collection. There's probably 300 or 400 albums in there. And then When I was, as a teenager, of course, I had a pretty big taste in music. So I've just collected stuff over the years. So I got like a lot of Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and Kiss and Megadeth and I like Queensryche and Van Halen. A lot of the older '80s stuff. Um, so I collect vinyl, because and vinyl's making a comeback. Believe it or not, it's amazing to me um, how many people actually are into vinyl. I was telling Abid earlier, that guy Abid that was on here, about there's a company out of Tennessee, a guy named Chad. The name of the company is called CollectCo, COLLECT company, but he uses just a CO for short. He's on Facebook. As a matter of fact, he's probably on right now. He comes on at 5 o'clock in the evening. And this guy, what he does is he goes around the country. You've been trying to write some songs, man, and learn music, electric guitar, vinyl is making a comeback. Yeah, absolutely. Like I was telling a beat earlier, um, there's this guy, he goes around and he buys these album collections from people. So he gets a lot of really weird and like rare stuff. And I watch him a lot, but you misspell. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I misspell shit all the time, man. I get in a hurry. ADD starts acting up and I misspell words. And I find myself having to go back and edit a whole lot. So you're all good with me. But anyway, I was telling him he's usually on around 5 o'clock in the evening, which would be 6 o'clock your time. He's in Tennessee. And what he does is he has stuff that's already pre-priced, but he also does like auctions. So he'll have like these milk crates or crates of albums he'll put on a table, and he'll flip through them, and he'll tell you what the artist is, what kind of shape the album it is, if it's a reprint or if it's like a OG or if it's a first pressing or something like that. And a lot of that stuff is already pre-priced. But he also, in the back on the table, he'll lay out albums, and he'll do auctions on those. And man, I've seen records go for as much as like $1,000. You know what I mean? But he gets a lot of really rare stuff. Thursday night is metal night. That's usually the night I watch. But he's had a lot of like Kiss and Iron Maiden, mostly. Metallica. I never knew that Metallica had so many albums, and a lot of them are bootlegs, and a lot of them are like rare shit that people have recorded and then converted over to albums and had printed. But a lot of that stuff is really cool and it's really rare. And then you have like he has stuff with autographs, like actual autographs on it. But if you ever get a chance, it's called CollectCo. He's got a Facebook page, and you can go on there and kind of see what they do. It's really cool. But I got back into vinyl a couple of years ago. Like I said, I already had some from like when I was a kid. Not very many, but a few. And then I started building a stereo. So I was at one of these antique shops, or consignment, where you take your stuff and it sits in there, and it's like almost like an antique mall. You know what I mean? And I bought this Pioneer receiver and turntable, and that's all I had for a little while. And then, I've got an ass load of CDs, so I thought, well, I'll buy a CD player. Oh yeah, you've been watching a lot of YouTube, like Red Fan Metallica. That song was actually done by a band called Boogie. You believe that's the correct name? Bread Fan. I don't know if I've heard that one. I'm sure I probably have. Well, quite a few of their songs were done by other bands. Like, what was that? Whiskey in the Jar. That was somebody else's material. And they've done quite a few other, covers over the years. but they haven't really printed much of it that I remember. But there are, like from the Garage Days era, there's a lot of stuff that was bootlegged that this guy sells. I'm more of I like Megadeth better than Metallica, but that's just me, you know. Megadeth, has just always been one of my favorites. They're like my second favorite band behind Iron Maiden. Give me just a second. I drink these every day too. There's my shout out there, Mountain Dew. Quick kickstart. I drink the black cherry ones, they're the best. But yeah, man. So anyway, I decided that I wanted to get a CD player. So I found a Pioneer CD player that shipped in from California. Now, of course, this is all used equipment, and the CD player was in really good shape. And then I decided I wanted to get a cassette deck. You got a 6-pack of cherry Pepsis today. That's awesome. I'm not a real big fan of Pepsi. I drink one of these a day. The black cherry ones are my favorite. I do like the orange ones, or was it orange citrus? But I don't know. There's some of the flavors that I don't really care for. Like what is that one? Mango and lemon or something. I'm not a real big fan of the mangoes, but anyway, so I decided I wanted to get a dual cassette player, and I managed to find one in Illinois, which is right across the river from where I am. I'm in Missouri, by the way, if I didn't say that already. I'm near St. Louis. So I built all this system, and then like I had some cheap speakers on there when I first started. But I decided to use Polk Audio. I like the Polk Audio speakers. And like I've got like 2 bookshelf speakers, but then I've got some bigger ones that I use to carry the bass. And in my house, I have a basement, and I've got a room that's made out of, it's got like pine in it, and pine in walls. They're like tongue and groove pine is basically what it is. And the ceiling is made out of the same stuff, you know, that is in the drop ceilings, like the tiles, you know, like you see in office buildings and stuff. Brad, APC, I'm from Missouri. Yes, I'm from Missouri. And there's your shout out, Brad, APC. But anyway, the acoustics in that room are really good, and the Polk Audio speakers really do it justice. I try not to turn it up too loud though, because my fiance is usually upstairs watching TV or something, and it'll rock the house, I'm telling you. But yeah, so like I said, and I've got some cassettes. I've got an ass load of CDs that I've bought over the years. I've got more CDs than I can listen to. And I had a friend when I lived in North Carolina. He lives in a place called Falston, North Carolina, which is up in the mountains. And him and I used to like record How Come I Got a British Flag? Because I like the British flag. I think it's, you know, it's historic. I know it's kind of funny to see to see a guy that speaks perfect English, you know, have a British flag, but I just like the British flag. It's pretty cool. I've got friends that are from over there too as well. But I've got a lot of. You're from there? You're from where? The UK? We're at in the UK. I guess I lost Rock On. Oh, you're gonna check out, man. You'll tune back in later. Okay, hey, Rock On. Listen, I'm on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, usually around, I guess I would say 4:30 p.m. your time. Sometimes 5:30, depending on if I work 9 or 10-hour days. But hey, thanks for coming in, man. It was really good meeting you, and we'll look and hope to see you again in there. Make sure you subscribe. I'll subscribe back. You're in Manchester. Okay, cool. You know, I was over in the UK in 2012 I came over there to London. All right, good. Rock on. We'll talk at you another time. You take it easy as well. And Brad, APC, I was over in London in 2012. I came over there to see Iron Maiden play at the O2 Arena. And when I was there, I stayed over, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with a place called Canning Town, but that's where my hotel was. It was right across the Thames River or Thames River or whatever it is. And then we were only there a few days because that's basically pretty much for the concert. I really couldn't afford to stay longer than that. But like the highlight of my trip, man, was when we were going back to Heathrow Airport from Canning Town. We went by that. We saw the bridge. I saw Big Ben, and we saw the London, the Eye or whatever it is. The big Ferris wheel. But the highlight, believe it or not, seeing Iron Maiden and everything on their own turf and making friends and all that was all great and all that. But like the highlight of my trip was seeing the factory, the old factory that is on the Pink Floyd Animals album. I knew it was over there somewhere, and I didn't really expect to see it. But we were on the way to Heathrow Airport from Canning Town. And I look, to my left, and I'm like, oh man, that is like the coolest thing ever. You know what I mean? When you grow up seeing that album cover for so many years as a kid, and you're really kind of curious. It's like, hey man, that's a great picture. Where was it? And then you want to find out the story behind it and all that. But anyway, like I said, I've got some friends over there that live. There's a friend of mine. His name is Mick. And he's married to a woman, let's see if Shaban, I think's her name, or that's how you pronounce it. They're down in the southern part of the UK. He's actually in the British Navy, and I'm still in contact with them. I talk to them quite a bit. I don't know that they're subscribed to my page, but I do see them or talk to them quite a bit on Facebook. But anyway, I've always liked the flag, the British flag. So that's at the base of my stairs. That's my stairwell right there that goes up to the upstairs. Like I said, I'm in my basement, and I don't come down here a whole lot, but I do every once in a while because I have boxes. We do a lot of Amazon shopping because it's cheaper sometimes than going to the store for a lot of the stuff that we get, and we get boxes accumulating at the bottom of the stairs, so I have to come down and break down the boxes and then pack them up and take them to work, put in the dumpster. Hold on just a second. Man, I don't think I've ever been on this long. I mean, this time of day. It's let's see, it's 7 o'clock. Man, it's like 3 in the morning where you're at, right, Brad? It's like 3 in the morning where you're at. Sorry, I had to bend down to get these. I'm putting them. Got boxes in a stack down here, and I'm putting them in a big box. So I'm having to pick them up off the floor. Well, that's cool. Well, it's good to see you in there. Oh, it's 1 a.m. Well, it's 6 hour. Oh yeah, 1 a.m. I'm sorry. Yeah, 6 hour difference. That I do remember. I had. When we flew over there, I'd never been out of the country before, and I think I was like 41 when we took that trip, and I'd never been out of the country before. So we flew out of St. Louis into Chicago International Airport, and then we flew from Chicago to Heathrow Airport, and the plane ride was like 7.5 hours. So we left here at like 7 at night, 7:30. And then we had a little bit of a layover in Chicago, but we ended up getting into London at Heathrow at like 11:30 in the morning, English time or UK time. And we went to the hotel. It took about, I don't know, it took like 45 minutes to get to the hotel. And we, like I said, we stayed in Canning Town. So we went past where the concert was for Iron Maiden and Trivium, and we stayed in a hotel there. It was the first time I'd ever had Indian food. My fiance had been to London before. She had stayed in South London with a company that she worked for. She went over there to do some training, and she was like, I knew that Iron Maiden was going on tour. Now this was during the Final Frontier tour, and they were traveling with, or they were playing with Trivium. Trivium opened up for them. My original plan, because she has Irish roots, we wanted to go to Dublin. So I started looking for tickets at the Dublin Coliseum or wherever it was in Dublin that they play. There was 2 shows. Both shows were sold out. So I thought, man, well, we'll check out London, because I've always wanted to go to London. And so we did. We checked out London, and I got tickets for Friday night show and then Saturday night show. Now we ended up not going to the Friday night show because, man, with the jet lag and everything, and that was a nightmare. So we went to the hotel and slept for like 6 or 8 hours, something like that. And then the next day we went to a place called Covent Gardens, if you know where that is. Man, that was like a really cool place. I had a lot of fun. We were only there for 3 days, but I'm telling you, those 3 days were like unforgettable. I'll never forget that as long as I live. And I'm hoping eventually to make it back over there. But I'm not sure when that's going to happen. It may be real when I retire, you know. It's going to take me a while to save up the money again. I just happened to have come into some money. I had my mom passed away in 2011, and you know, I got, being an only a child, I was able to collect on her life insurance and then her retirement, and then she had a pretty big 401k plan. So at that time, I had quite a bit of money just to throw around, and I thought, man, I want to go out of the country to see Iron Maiden, you know, and so that's what we did. Like I said, man, that's a trip I'll never forget as long as I live. And it was probably one of the funnest things I've ever done. I've traveled all over the U.S. You know, I've been out to the West Coast, California. I went to the California in '92, and then I went out there for the Naval Training Center for the U.S. Navy. I enlisted in the Navy when I was 22, and I went out to San Diego to do my basic training, and then after that, I just kind of, you know, decided that I wanted to do some traveling. So, like, I went to, you know, Florida a few times, and then like up in Virginia. And now originally I'm from Virginia, but I wanted to go, you know, back and see some of my roots. So I went back to Virginia to visit. I still had some people there that I knew, and then I went to Upper Virginia. What is the name of that place? Man, what is it? No, I'm sorry, Maryland. I went to Maryland to see Iron Maiden play with Dream Theater. That was a really good show. And that was in Bristow, Virginia, which is like right in Maryland. The matter of fact, the arena that I went to was called the Merriweather Post Pavilion. I've got, I'm not sure if you can see that. That's from the show there. That's a backstage pass, and the original ticket I used to get in the show, and then the other was an unused ticket. It's really cool. Have you watched Harry Potter? I've seen like bits and pieces. I've got I had 2 teenage daughters before I moved here to Missouri. So I raised 2 kids, and, you know, of course the kids in the 90s were watching that, or early 2000s. So yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of the Harry Potter movies. but I haven't really sat down and watched them like all the way through, just bits and pieces. My mom was a huge Harry Potter fan, though. She read all the books and all that, and she has some I've got some collectibles that are, Harry Potter stuff. Um, she was in love with that. What's that guy's name? Uh, she called him Captain Sexy, but I can't remember his name. My mom was kind of an interesting person. But there's like one guy in there that's like supposed to be some kind of hero that was it Argon or Aragon or something, I think was his name. I don't remember. Or Arago, maybe. Tell me if I'm wrong. But anyway, yeah, she watched all the movies and gave my kids like the DVD set for Christmas. And then she would buy them Harry Potter stuff, periodically, like for birthdays and stuff like that. So, but she had a lot of those collectibles, and I've got everything that when she passed away, I got all her Harry Potter stuff. So I got a building out back. It's where I keep my motorcycles and stuff, and all that Harry Potter stuff's out there in plastic totes. I don't ever. I've never tried to sell it or anything. I'm sure I probably could, but when you get stuff like that from family that you inherit, it's really hard to, let that stuff go, even if you don't have any interest in it. But yeah, man, thanks for stopping in. It's really great that there are some people that are actually participating today. I don't get this a whole lot. People. My page or my channel, I guess, is not popular enough yet. But I haven't really been doing these live videos very long, and I've been doing them for, I don't know, maybe a year or so. But like I was telling Rock On and a Beat earlier, I'm generally on in the afternoons. Well, my time afternoons would be, let's see, so 6 hour difference. I would be on around 10:30 at night on your time. I should try Twitch. I would get more people. I've heard of Twitch, but I've never used it. But I may look into that. There was at one point I was going to start doing like music commentating, like for things I've never heard before or stuff like that. I was going to start doing stuff like that. And I bought a green screen and everything, man. I was all set up, and then I was having a hard time because of the copyright rules. Like I get busted by YouTube a whole lot, especially if there's music in the background. And people, they claim copyrights to stuff. So I get these videos, in my videos when music plays, I get these nasty grams from YouTube saying, well, this music cannot be seen or heard in certain territories because there's copyrights issues. And then I have to go through this whole long drawn out process about disputing it, because I don't think they really understand it. Like if I'm talking, I'm not really paying attention like what's going on around me. My focus is there, you know what I mean? So I don't really pay attention to like what comes on. And sometimes every once in a while I could listen to 30 songs, but like 2 of them pick up in the video that I'm doing, and they tell me that there's copyright issues. So I have to dispute it. I have to explain to them, look, the radio was on, I'm in my car, it's not like I have control over what's being played, cut me a break. A lot of times they'll let that go. But there are other times I've found out basically too that when you play in music in the background, if you know what you're playing, like I have some short videos of album covers there's music in the background. I show my stereo and I show that I'm playing an album. And I find that if I'm playing a record and it's less than a minute, like 59 seconds, say for instance, if I play it like for less than a minute, then generally I don't get flagged. unless it's somebody real popular like, Ozzy Osbourne or Black Sabbath or Metallica or Megadeth or one of those more popular bands. Every once in a while I get flagged for that. But yeah, I'll look into Twitch. I haven't really, I don't really know a lot about Twitch. I know that I know a lot of people do try hurdle. It does what you're trying to do. Okay, let me write this down. Let me see here. Is that a social platform kind of like YouTube? H E-A-R-D-L-E. Like I use Rumble. I don't use Rumble like to broadcast or anything. I don't do live videos on there. It's a website. Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that one too. So Twitch and Hurdle. All right. Hold on just a second. Okay. What's that there? I got a CB radio going on here in the background.
1, 2, 3. I heard you in there. I heard that 1, 2, 3 in there. I'm waving at 91 too. I heard that 91 and that 1, 2, 3. I'm back live.
I do CB radio. It hides the song when you listen to 20 seconds of the music of the intro. Okay. All right. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, I listen to stuff on Rumble. Like there's a couple of people that do live streaming on Rumble, and I've gone there. I've listened to stuff. 666. That's funny. I'm listening. This is a power box, and then I've got my power supply over here that lights everything up. And then this is my microphone here. And I spend sometimes listening to people. I've talked to people all around the world on there. But I turn it on sometimes when I'm down here just to listen. And that's channel 19. That's the trucker channel. Oh, my signal's cutting out. Okay. It's probably because I was moving my phone around. Is it good now? Is my signal good now? It's probably because I was moving my phone around. Like I say, I'm in the basement, and when I'm at home, my okay, good. Thanks for letting me know. When I'm at home, my phone goes over from network to Wi-Fi. It's just set up to do that. And my Wi-Fi receiver is over in this corner of the house with my TV and stuff, and it's in a cabinet. And I find that like if I pick up my phone and I'm walking around, I lose my signal, at certain places. Do I have a desktop? No, I do not have a desktop, but I do have a gaming PC laptop. I've got a Lenovo. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that brand or not. I also have one of those Horizon Oculus things. So I do that quite a bit, and I use my Lenovo computer to link into when I'm doing that. What do I play? Batman. And when I go to Horizon Worlds, I like to go to a place called Bunkies, and I play, I'll throw darts, and then I shoot basketball, and stuff like that. I'm not really into the other games, but I do play the Batman game. But if you got any suggestions for me to try, like, there's a couple of places that I've gone, like I do VR chat as well. And there's some pretty cool games on there that I've tried. No good at them. There's one called Trash Compactor or something. I've played that. There's actually one world that I go to that I shoot guns and stuff, and it's like a zombie apocalypse, and you have to walk through and kill zombies and stuff like that. You have different kinds of guns and handguns and rifles and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. But I do that. I tried, there was another one I tried. What is that called? Rec Room. A buddy of mine took me to Rec Room. Oh, wait a minute. Citadel. I like Citadel a whole lot. Citadel is one of these like seek and find games. It's like Days. What's like Days? Anyway, I play one called Citadel that you have to like get these coins and stuff out of and you have to find these treasure chests, and then like at one point you fight like a giant spider. I like these seek and find type stuff. I do play those kind of games. I find those to be rather interesting. And then like there's one world that I go to on what is it, VR chat. It's like a hockey game. Oh, speaking of hockey games, I got a hockey game to watch here in a little bit. What time is it? Oh, it's probably already on. I'm only going to be on about 4 more minutes anyway. I got to go watch a hockey game. I'm a huge hockey fan, so I love the St. Louis Blues. I guess you watch hockey over there. Oh, you play VR chat on your PC? Okay. So look for next time you're on VR chat. I don't get on a whole lot, but look for capital GRAZP 125. That's me. You got something to write with? Type it back and let me know. I'll meet you on there sometime. Maybe you can show me some games. Capital G, lowercase r, AZP 125. That's my username on there. A lot of times when I go on, it's usually like on a Friday or Saturday night when I can stay up late. Am I able to type in chat? Yes, I can. I type with my controllers. It gives me that option. I have the Quest 3S or S3. S3 is what I have, or 3S. No, it's the 3S is the headset that I have. And like I say, I hook it up to my Lenovo. But what I find is that when I hook it up to my Lenovo, have you tried GTA 5? No, I have not. I haven't tried any of the driving games, but I have tried to fly jets. And I've driven tanks and some like military vehicles. I can't remember what the name of the world is. But I have tried some of those. I can't really, the jets are really cool, but I get not lethargic. What's that word I'm looking for? Vertigo. I get vertigo really bad if I'm flying in one of the jets. Even though I'm not moving, it feels like my head tells me that I'm moving. And it, like when you flip upside down and stuff, I get dizzy. So I try to stay away from those type of games if I can. But anyway, can I type in this chat? Okay, let me see here. I've never done it. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see here. Flip, mute, hide video, retouch, create green screen, lighting, close. No, I don't know how to type in the chat here. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? Yes, there we go. No, wait a minute. Chat filter. Oh, that's for my moderation. No, I can't. I don't know how to type in there. Sorry. But anyway, it's GRAZP. Or send me your username, and I'll look you up next time I'm on, and I'll send you a friend request. They changed the policy, I think, in so now, like, even if somebody's offline, you can send them a friend request. So give me your username on VR chat, and I'll come look you up. Not tonight, but I will like Friday or Saturday when I get on. I'll be sure to look you up, or I can do it maybe tomorrow and at least send you a friend request or something. Jolly Rancher, San Diego. Wow. They're all the way across the country. Anyway. All right, well, it's been 2 hours, folks. Brad, hey, great to meet you. Do me a favor, type your username real quick for VR chat, and so I can send you a friend request. I got to get upstairs and watch my hockey game. I think they're playing the Los Angeles Kings tonight. Like I said, I'm a huge hockey fan. I like the European Hockey League. Was it the Elite Hockey League? I like the team over there called the what is their name? The Clan. Something Clan. Vexed. V-E-X-E-D. Okay. V-E-X-E-D. Okay. All right. I'll send you a friend request next time I'm on. I may get on tomorrow afternoon, and I'll send you a friend request. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, man. I've been on here 2 hours running my mouth about absolutely nothing. I've met some great people this time. Do me a favor, if you don't mind, subscribe to my channel. I'm on usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around 3:30 or 4:30 Central Time, which would be, let's see, 9:30 or 10:30 your time in the UK. I just do like a 30-minute videos usually on the way home. I talk about my day. I talk about some stuff going on around the world. I try to stay away from politics and religion, though. Those subjects seem to be, they cause a lot of problems, so I try to stay away from those. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Brad, hey, man, it's great to meet you, and I'm sure we'll run into each other again. So until then, we'll talk at you later, and greetings from the U.S. See you later, man. Have a good rest of your day. All right, we'll do. You do the same. Hey, and thanks for stopping in. I really enjoyed it. We'll talk to you again soon. All right, I'm out.